everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're sharing a story that's both powerful and heartbreaking. A story about love, sacrifice, and the thin line between a mother's protection and her possessiveness. Tobena was the absolute pride of his mother, Mama Ezina. From the very moment he was born, she wrapped her entire world around him. As a widow who had raised her only child all by herself, she didn't just see him as her son. She saw him as the ultimate reward for all her suffering. Every single decision she made, every sacrifice, every dream she nurtured was tied directly to him. And in her mind, no one on this earth deserved him unless she gave her approval. Tobena grew up in Enugu, a brilliant and ambitious young man. He was the kind of person who made heads turn, not just for his good looks, but for his quiet, calm confidence. After graduating from university, he landed a great job with an oil company in Port Harcourt. Soon, his mother began to boast to anyone who would listen. "My son is in shell," she'd say with a proud smile. "You see that boy? He will build me a mansion right here in the village. God has finally wiped away my tears." Then, Amaka came into the picture. Amaka was everything Tobena had ever prayed for in a woman. She was smart, kind, hardworking, and stunningly beautiful without even trying. They met at a wedding, and within just a few months, Tobena was already talking about introducing her to his mother. His friends would tease him, saying he'd finally fallen deeply in love and he didn't even bother to deny it. He was completely smitten. But there was one crucial thing Tobena didn't know. His mother's love for him had an edge sharper than any knife. When Mama Ezini first met Amaka, she smiled politely, but the very moment the girl left, her expression hardened. "So this is the girl?" she asked, her voice dripping with disapproval. "She's beautiful, yes, but something about her spirit doesn't sit right with me. She's too bold. Women like that bring bad luck." "Mama, please," Tobena said with a light chuckle, trying to ease the tension. "You said the same thing about my first girlfriend." "That one was too quiet," Mama snapped back. "And at least I was right about her. She left you, didn't she?" Tobena sighed. He thought his mother was just being her usual overprotective self, but he didn't realize her resentment ran much deeper. The truth was, Mama Ezina disliked Amaka for reasons she couldn't admit out loud. Amaka came from a modest family, her father was a retired teacher, and her mother was a seamstress. In Mama Ezini's eyes, this was a grave insult to everything she had worked for. After all, she had suffered immensely to give her son a better life. "You want to marry a tailor's daughter?" she spat one night, her words filled with venom. "After everything I've done for you? God forbid." At first, Tobena tried to reason with her. "Mama, it's not about money. Amaka has her own job. She works at a bank, and she's not after my money. She truly loves me." But his mother's mind was firmly set. "If she truly loved you, she'd let you go," she said bitterly. "You need a woman from a family that matches your future, someone from our level, not a girl who will drag you down into poverty." The tension in their relationship grew thicker with each passing day. Every time Amaka visited, Mama Ezini would find subtle, cruel ways to humiliate her. She'd complain about her cooking, criticize her dressing, and even comment on the way she greeted elders. "Ah, Amaka," she once said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. "In our culture, we kneel when greeting elders, not bend a little like people who grew up in the city." Through it all, Amaka endured the insults with grace, determined not to be the reason for a rift between Tobena and his mother. But Mama Ezini had other plans. She began to manipulate her son in quiet, poisonous ways, using tears, guilt, and emotional blackmail as her weapons. "After all I suffered to raise you, this is how you repay me?" she would cry whenever he dared to defend Amaka. "So now it's her over me. I see. The moment you marry her, I'll become a stranger in your life." Tobena stood his ground at first, but as the months went by, his mother's words started to weigh heavily on him. He loved her deeply, and seeing her cry tore him apart. Then came the final, devastating blow. Mama Ezina pretended to fall seriously ill. One Sunday morning, Tobena got a frantic call from his cousin in the village. "Your mother fainted," he said. "She's in the hospital." Tobena rushed home immediately, his heart pounding with panic. There she was, lying weakly on a hospital bed, her voice barely a whisper. "My son," she whispered, her hand trembling as she reached for his. "I just want to see you happy. But this girl, she's not the one. I had a dream, Tobena. In that dream, she brought nothing but tears to our family. Fear crept into his heart. He had grown up believing in the power of dreams and omens, and his mother knew exactly how to use that against him. Her frail voice and trembling hands sealed the manipulation. Within a week, Tobena broke things off with Amaka. She was completely devastated. She begged him to tell her what went wrong, but he couldn't bring himself to admit the truth. "My mother doesn't approve," was all he could manage to say. "I can't go against her." Amaka left quietly, her nights filled with silent tears. Months later, Mama Izini's health miraculously improved. She even started planning Tobena's future again, as if nothing had happened. "There's a good family in Asaba," she announced one afternoon. "Their daughter just returned from the UK. She's everything a good wife should be." Tobena tried to feel something for this new girl, Nika, but his heart just wasn't in it. They married anyway, and the wedding was grand. Mama Izina beamed with pride, finally feeling she had secured her son's rightful place in society. "Now this is the wife of a successful man," she told everyone at the reception. But as the months turned into a year, the cracks began to show. Nika was not the gentle, submissive woman Mama Izini had imagined. She was proud, stubborn, and incredibly self-centered. She had little interest in her husband beyond his status, and even less interest in his mother. She rarely cooked, and when she did, she made it perfectly clear that she wasn't a village wife. "Mama, I'm not your maid," she once snapped when Izine asked her to fetch some water. "There are house helps for that." The tension in the house grew unbearable. Tobena found himself living in a state of constant frustration. The peace he once knew had completely vanished. He started spending more and more time at work, coming home late just to avoid the endless drama. One evening, after another heated argument between Neka and his mother, Tobena finally snapped. "Mama, you chose this," he said, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. "You made me give up the woman I loved. You wanted a wife who matched your standards. Are you happy now?" Mama Izini's face fell. "I only wanted the best for you," she said softly. He just shook his head. "No, Mama, you wanted the best for yourself." From that day forward, something inside him broke. He stopped visiting her as often, stopped calling every day like he used to. The strong, loving bond they once shared was shattered. She still saw him physically from time to time, but emotionally, she had lost him forever. Years later, when she fell sick again, this time for real, Tobena paid for all the hospital bills, but he didn't stay by her bedside. She would call out his name, but he never came. When she eventually passed away, people said it was from a broken heart. But those who knew the truth whispered a different story. They said she was finally consumed by the very thing that had guided her entire life, her own pride. In the end, Mama Izini had won the battle for social status, but she had lost the war for her son's love. And as her body was lowered into the ground, the villagers could almost hear the echo of a painful truth. A mother's hand may raise a child, but when guided by a devil's heart, it can also destroy him. Thank you so much for watching. This story is a powerful reminder to live our lives with true love, not pride. If this story touched you, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next story. See you next time!